Oh no.
Last year, I reviewed Aventon's Level 2, and I thought that it was one of the best commuter e-bikes for the money. Well, this is Aventon's Level 3, which is an upgrade to the Level 2. And will I feel the same thing about this bike? Well, there's only one way to find out, so let's get into it. When you get your Level 3, it's going to come to you as a Class 2 e-bike, which means you can go up to 20 miles an hour via this thumb throttle here on your left-hand side, your double-sided torque sensor below, and your 3 levels of pedal assist. This bike weighs 67 pounds, but has a maximum payload capacity of 300 pounds. And during the making of this video, you can purchase this bike for $1,899, and it comes with a 2-year warranty. Now, I'm not really sure what's going to be going on with the tariff, so you might want to go ahead, click my link down below. That's going to show you the latest pricing on this bike. Now, there are 2 different versions. You have the step over version right here, and it's going to come in 2 different sizes. The regular size are for riders who are 5'3" to 5'10", and a large, which is good for riders who are 5'10" to 6'4". The bike will also come in 2 colors. You get it in this matte Aurora right here, and you can also get it in a matte black. There is also a step-through version of the Level 3, and it also comes in 2 sizes. The regular size is good for riders who are 4'11" to 5'7", and a large, which is good for riders who are 5'7" to 6'1". It also comes in 2 different colors. You have a sandstone and a glacier mint. Aventon claims that the Level 3 can go up to 70 miles on a single battery charge. The Level 3 has a 36-volt, 500-watt rear hub motor. It has a peak power of 864 watts and 60 newton meters of torque. It comes with an 8-speed drivetrain, a Shimano Altus derailleur, a 48-tooth chainring, and an 8-speed trigger shifter. When it comes to stopping power, it has a Magura 2-piston hydraulic brake system and 180 millimeter rotors. The front forks are hydraulic. They have 80 millimeters of travel. You can preload them and you can lock them out. The wheels are 27.5 inches tall. It does come with a Novatec hub and a through axle right here. It also comes with Kenda tires that have a great street pattern on them, and they're puncture resistant. When it comes to the battery, it is hidden in this down tube right here. It is a 36-volt, 20 amp hours with 733 watt hours of power. Now you can charge it up while it's on the bike with this charging port right down here, or you can remove it and charge it somewhere else. Now it will come with a 4 amp charger, which means you can charge this entire bike up from 0 to 100% in 5 hours. When it comes to removing the battery, on the Level 2, it came with a physical key that could be lost, and also that keyhole could be punched in to get access to your battery. Well, they've eliminated the physical key on this bike, and you have 2 different options on how to remove the battery. One is through the app, and the second is through this display. To remove the battery, you have to have the bike turned on, and you're going to hold the plus and minus button down. It's going to take you into this menu right here, and you can see the second one says battery lock. We're going to jump down to it, hit the power button. It takes us into there. It shows that the battery is locked. You're going to hit that button one more time, and it has unlocked the battery. Now, once you hear that noise, it has popped your battery out just a little bit, and you're going to push in on the holding handle for this. So it comes with a handle right here that you can carry it with. And then on the back side, you have a battery indicator so that when you're charging it, you can see how charged up it is. And then all you have to do is just make sure that this is on the bottom, slap it back in, and you're good to go. The Level 3 comes with a UL certification of 2271 and a UL certification of 2849. It is also IPX6 rated, which means it can handle high-pressure water streams from any angle. Additional features include plastic fenders, plastic pedals, a single-sided chainring guard, a quick release with a suspension seat post, a chain protector to keep your chain from messing up your paint, a medium-size Aventon branded saddle, a rear rack that can hold 59 pounds, mounting points for a water bottle holder, or in my case, my foldy lock, an adjustable stem, but the biggest feature is the Aventon control unit, tucked nicely here on the bottom frame in front of your rear tire. This is the control module that has all kinds of high-end tech. Here in Chicago, bikes get stolen all the time. And if you can do things that can prevent thieves from taking your bike and making it harder for them, well, you have a better chance of keeping your bike. Aventon knows that, and they have developed multiple security features on this bike. One of them is hub lock. To activate the hub lock, you're going to hold your plus and minus button down, and that is going to take you into the inner display. And right here it says bike lock. Use your minus key to go down there, hit the power button, and it shows that the bike is unlocked. By hitting the power button one more time, it has just locked the rear hub. And what that means is that if someone wanted to steal your bike and they were able to get it from whatever chain or lock that you have, and they wanted to ride off with it, well, they can't, because the rear hub no longer works. At this point, they're going to have to take the bike and carry it away. Now, how this works is there is this locking device right here, and whenever you lock the hub, a pin will go into one of these spots, preventing this hub from moving. To unlock the hub, you got to hop back into the menu, go down to bike lock, hit the button again. As you can see, it shows that it's locked. Hit the power button, and the bike unlocks. Then you just hit your left turn signal button, and you move right on out to the main display. A cool thing about this feature is that in the app, you can set it up to where it will automatically engage the hub lock whenever you turn the bike off. And then you would have to personally unlock it when you come back to it. And I know what you guys are thinking. What would stop a thief knowing that this bike is an Aventon bike and it has that setup to be able to go in themselves into the display and unlocking the hub? Well, Aventon thought of that as well. And because of that, you can set this bike up with a 4-digit password, and I'm going to show you that in Cockpit Operations. So let's talk size and fit. Now, when you take a look at the overall length of the bike, well, it is 73 inches. And there are a lot of adjustments that you can make because it has this adjustable stem. You can bring it forward, back, and lift it up, bring it farther down. That is a nice feature. And then you have your seat over here. Now, it does have numbers on the back of it, and you can lower this. That's about the lowest you can go because you have to remember you got to make room for that suspension seat post to work. So right there is your lowest setting for your shorter rider. And then we'll set it up for your tallest. That's pretty tall right there. And that's what that looks like for your tallest rider. Now me, guys, I am 5'9". Oh, in case you're wondering, this is a regular bike because I'm 5'9". I have a 32-inch inseam. I weigh 225 pounds, and this is what I should look like riding this bike today. Cockpit Operations. When you get the bike, it will not come with this side mirror. I added that on my own, but it does come with a single locking grip right here. The rubber here, it moves. So you have these little grooves that move when you grab a hold of it. It's a nice feeling. I like it. And then right up here is your front brake lever. This is your throttle. And then this is your control pad. To turn the bike on, you're going to hold down your power button until your display lights up. This is the display. You guys can see it is full color. I really like this display. Since this bike does have GPS tracking, it is showing us our signal strength of our GPS, and this is showing that it's tracking our location. Right here is our battery indicator showing that we have 100% battery, and it has that visual indicator as it will drop down as the battery gets lower. From here, this is where it's going to show us our miles per hour. This shows our pedal assist levels, and this gives us various information. And here at the bottom is a USB port. If you want to go up in pedal assist levels right there, you're going to hit your plus button. It takes you through Eco, Sport, and Turbo, and then you use your minus button to also go down in pedal assist levels. A neat thing is look, it shows you your range on how many miles we can go in each one of these levels. To check out the various information here, you're just going to hit your power button real quick. It's going to go to your average speed, max speed, total time on the bike, calories reduced, CO2 reduced, and then it goes back to your odometer. To get information about your specific trip, you can just hit your left and right turn signals real quick. It's going to take you into this trip A and trip B, where it will give you a lot more information. To hop out of that, just hit your left and right turn signal buttons again, and it takes you back to the main screen. Speaking of left and right turn signals, it has them. To activate it, you're just going to push whichever direction you want to go. You see the indicator showing up right here at the top. That is a nice feature because in that way, you know that your turn signal is turned on. To turn it off, you're just going to hit that button again. These turn signals will turn off after 15 clicks. To turn your headlight on, you're just going to hold your plus button up. Your headlight comes on, an indicator shows up here, and your screen dims just a little. To turn it off, you're just going to hold your plus button again, and your screen brightens up and your headlight turns off. This is the headlight, which is tiny, but it is also very bright. These are the tail lights on the Level 3. Now they are flashing right now. That's due to my camera, but they are actually solid. And then if you hit the brakes, well, it does not brighten up for the braking. There are no brake lights on this bike. The turn signals look like this on each side. And if you have your headlight off, this is what your turn signals look like. On your right-hand side, you have your rear brake lever back here. This is your shifter. To go down in gear, you're going to use your thumb to click it down in gear, and then you're going to use your index finger to take it up in gear. This bike does not come with a bell, but I'll be adding one for the review. Let's hop into advanced settings. To do that, you're just going to hold down your plus and minus button, and it's going to take you into the advanced settings. Right here, we're going to clear the trip because we want to track our trip today, so let's clear it. And we have done that. Then it takes us down to the battery lock, which I've shown you. I've also shown you the bike lock, and you can change your display unit from kilometers to miles. We can adjust our screen brightness. We can dictate how long the bike shuts off on its own if you leave it turned on, and you can set up a password. And once you do that, you need to have a 4-digit password to activate and turn this bike on. Here tracks our error history, our system info, and this shows us how to connect to the app. This is an important feature. Make sure you connect your bike to the app before you take it out on its first ride, as there could be firmware updates to the bike. To get back out of all of this, you're just going to hit your left turn signal button, and it takes you back to the main display. Let's go over the features with the app. Once you connect it to your bike, well, this is what it looks like on the home page. Here you can control whether the bike's turned off or on. You can lock it or unlock it for the rear hub. You can turn your headlight on. This is where your battery is, and it tells you your percentage. But if you go in here, this is where you would hit this button to release your battery. So I told you you could do it through the display and the app. That is how you do it through the app. From here, you have your off, which if you take a look, you can bump up your pedal assist levels if you like having your phone on your bike. I do not while I'm riding. Here you can track your ride. It'll give you various information. It also shows you where your bike is at. This is one of the beautiful things on how you are able to track the bike. From here, you have more settings. You can control your screen brightness, control how quick the power gets turned off when you haven't used the bike. This is where you bump up your speed limit. As you can see, I've already bumped it up to 28 miles an hour. You can set your alarm on the bike. You can do the lock when powered off, like mentioned during the review. Unusual activity detection, yes. That's where if somebody touches the bike, you're going to get a notification on your phone. This is where you can clear your password. Geofencing, you can control where this bike works. So you can lock it off to where it only works in a certain area, or you can block it to where it does not work in a certain area. I'm going to suggest that everyone update their firmware when they first get their bike, because you definitely want to make sure that that is updated. As you can see, I have all the latest software, but I'm pretty sure a lot of it had to be updated when I first got the bike. You can put it in transportation mode, and this is where it'll shut down the bike, but also make it to where it doesn't like notify you as it's constantly being moved. I want to talk to you guys about Ride Tune. This is the only commuter bike in this price range where you can control how it performs. You can control how much torque it has, how much assistance it gives you, and how quick the pedal response is in Eco, Sport, and Turbo. So you can set this up in all 3 categories. If you want to track your ride, well, you can just hit the go button here and it will track your ride. I know the Aventon app works really well when it comes to tracking your ride. You can also check for dealers in the area, maintenance, diagnostics. The bike, it can do its own diagnostics to see what is wrong with it. So with this, you can do some self-diagnosis on the bike. All right, let's get this bike on the road and see how it performs. We are out here on the 606 trail. It is going to be a scorcher today. It is going to be in the high 80s. It's supposed to touch 90 degrees, but that is going to be a great day to come out here and get the most out of this battery. Now, we are currently riding in pedal assist 0, which means we are not getting any assist to the bike. It's just me and the bike riding it as if it didn't have any power. We're cruising at 11 miles an hour. I'm in gear 3. It doesn't feel bad. So let's go ahead and test out the throttle. Now, I've reviewed enough of these bikes to know that it doesn't matter if we're in eco or in turbo, the throttle is going to act the same. But I want you guys to see how it acts. Now, I do have it into eco mode, and whenever I hit the throttle, well, it picks up gradually, gives you a nice slow start, and that way it's not like, you know, like throwing you off the bike or making you feel like you need to grab the handlebars real quick. And we've already hit 20 miles an hour. So, I mean, that is pretty quick, but it's also pretty smooth. So let's talk about the torque sensor, right? So when it comes to a torque sensor, the way this works is you have the 3 levels of boost. You have the eco, you have the sport, and you have the turbo, and it's all dictated on how hard you push the cranks. And what I mean by that is if you are just cruising along, like we're in eco mode right now, we're doing 16 miles an hour. But if I decide I want to go faster, all I have to do is apply more pressure to the cranks, and we've already shot up to 22 miles an hour. If I just keep going up in gear, we're going to keep going faster. Now, the difference between the EcoSport and Turbo is how much effort you are going to put in to reach the speeds that you want to reach. A point to where you're really going to notice that is when I put this bike on the hill climb, and that's when you're going to see the big differences between EcoSport and Turbo. All right, let's check out the display versus the GPS. And it looks like they are both matching up, both doing 20 miles an hour or dipping down to 19. But either way, we are good to go. Everything looks good. We are going to go ahead and see how long it takes for us to hit that 20 mile an hour. And let's go. We're doing throttle only right now. You know, we do have that gentle takeoff. Holy cow, it is extremely windy. Again, in Chicago, it always is. Boom. Only took about 12, 13 seconds to hit 20 miles an hour. Now let's see how fast it'll take us to get up to 28 miles an hour using pedal assist. I do have it into turbo. And let's go. I have it in gear 4 so we can take off quickly. And we are already going up in gears. That is it. Boom. That was just as fast as hitting 20 miles an hour via throttle only. And that felt smooth. It is time for the brake test, and we are going to do it in 2 different modes. Number 1, we're going to do it at 20 miles an hour, just in case you guys decide to keep it in class 2. And then the second one will be at full speed at 28 miles an hour. Woo! Oh, that is 18.5 feet. Oh, we're definitely going to be sliding for a while once we get this up to full speed. Round 2, we have it into turbo so we can hit that 28 miles an hour by the time we hit the brake line. Oh, the whole side kicked out. Man, I felt stylish. But we went past the 25-foot line for sure. You know, it felt pretty good. Let's go ahead and see how far we've actually gone. I mean, everything felt good. You know, I noticed that these brake levers, they are plastic, which is something to get used to. All right, let's see. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So we went 31 feet at 28 miles an hour. I mean, it stops. I felt like I was in control. The back end kicked out, as you guys saw. But not sure how I feel about the plastic levers. I mean, they worked. I don't have any issues with them. It's just, it's new. It's something new for me. Sport is how we're going to be rocking most of this review. That's always what I put these bikes in. I don't want to go in all the way fast, but I also don't want to be in an eco either. So normally on all the Aventon bikes, well, really on all the bikes that I normally ride and review, I put it like in the middle pedal assist level. So let's talk about oh my gosh. All right, we're gonna have to kick it down. It is extremely windy today, but of course it is. It's Chicago. I'm always fighting the wind in Chicago. Let's go ahead and put that into turbo. That is no fun at all. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a heck of a day. I mean, it feels great. The breeze feels great, but yikes, that wind. I can see the display. I can see everything really well. I do like these grips. I do like how these grips are feeling. And the seat's fine, but the seat post really needs to get broken in some. It's kind of chunky and you kind of feel it. So I'm hoping that before the end of the review, we will be able to get this thing to lighten up. All right, let's go ahead and get some off-road action going. See how this front suspension is going to work and how the seat post does. Oh. Now, this bike isn't one that you're going to constantly be taking off-road. But if you did, it can handle it. And if anything is going to break in this suspension seat post, it's this kind of riding that'll get it done. But with the tires that are on here and the type of terrain that we're on at the moment, you can totally take this thing off-road. Now, obviously, no mountain bike trails or anything like that. But if you have to cut off the beaten path, well, you can totally do it. Man, we have to have wind gusts of like 30, 40 miles an hour. This is insane. Well, and these are real world reviews, so we deal with what we deal with. We are here at the Hill of Pain. This hill goes from an 18% grade all the way up to 20. We're gonna do a throttle first and see how far the bike will make it up. And then after that, we're gonna go ahead and try doing it using pedal assist. Now, this bike only has 60 Newton meters of torque, and I've had bikes with claiming that they've had higher Newton meters of torque not make it up this hill. But even though we are only moving at 5 miles an hour, the level 3 made it up, no problem. Well, that went well. So let's go ahead and give it a shot using pedal assist. We still have it into turbo. Striking off in gear 3, immediately I felt power to the cranks, and we're just making it up super easy. We're doing about 12 miles an hour, well, 11. But yeah, for a bike with supposedly this little bit of torque and a 36-volt system, well, we've made it up the Hill of Pain, no problem. And one thing I noticed, it's not making any noise. There's no rattling or anything like that going on with the bike. And that is super nice. That shows you what kind of quality you're dealing with. Let's go ahead and do the sand test while I'm over here, and we're gonna find out how this bike performs. I'm gonna go ahead and put it into turbo. We have it in a low gear, and we're gonna use throttle, we're gonna use pedaling, anything that it's gonna take to get it done. So let's see how this bike performs in the sand. I actually don't know what to expect from it, but we are getting it done. We're making it happen. Oh, you know what? This isn't bad at all. Yeah, I mean, we're not in like super thick sand until just now. Let's go. Let's go. Oh. Let's crank it out. Yeah, we're doing just fine. Making it through the sand. I mean, you're going to put some work into it, but you're going to make it. We're going to make it. Oh, yeah. And, whoo. All right, guys. Not only will this bike get you to the beach, but it'll make it through it. All right, I have put this bike back into sport. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to keep it in there with this kind of wind. All right, here's a little off-road stuff. Ooh, low bridge. Decided to take a different route into the city. And, you know, one of the things about this is each level of pedal assist tells you how many miles or how much range you have that you can go. And I have it in the sport right now. It says we can go 28.5 miles. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to keep it into sport with the way this wind is going, but let's see. Now, if I take a look at turbo, it says that we can go 23.3 miles. Well, that's enough to get us into the city and check out the sights. With it being so hot, we're definitely appreciating that breeze, although it could just settle down some. I mean, it is crazy. We're tracking the ride through the Aventon app, and I also have Strava going. We will go ahead and see how those two compare to each other at the end of the review. Also, this is the first time I am wearing shorts for the year. So if my legs are blinding you, well, I get it. My apologies. Oh my gosh. All right, we're putting it in turbo. Yeah, guys, there's no way. Whatever the mileage is going to be today, do not, that's not the average mileage you can get on this bike. I mean, running it through the sand, climbing the hills, it's not liking that. And that hurts the battery. And then fighting this strong wind the entire time, well, that's definitely going to be a battery crusher. When Aventon came out with their new line of bikes, they now use what they call gravity casting for the main tube. And if you thought before that the weld lines were like really good and everything looked really nice, well, they look even better now. And I can tell that they've also changed the geometry of this bike. Before, with the Level 2, right, it had more of an aggressive stance. This does not. This feels really, really nice. And having this adjustable stem right here, well, obviously it allows you to put the handlebars wherever you need it. That's going to feel the most comfortable for you. And what is up with this matte paint job? I mean, once they sent me to Long Beach, I got to see these bikes when they first came out, got to try them out, and I couldn't decide between the step through or the step over when it comes to how these bikes looked. And I had to go with the matte purple step over. I mean, of course I did. Okay, holy cow. I have it in the sport. And this is how hard the wind is blowing. Okay, let's get it up into turbo. That is a great equalizer. Whew. Chicago wind is no joke. Now, unfortunately, if you want to be safe and have your light on during the day, you're not going to be able to see. The display. And because of that, well, you're going to want to have like a third-party light, one that blinks or something like that. I didn't bring one with me today. So when the headlight is on, you can't really see the screen. There, we've got 78% battery power. Oh my God. Oh, I'm getting pelted. Wow, that hurt. Rocks and gravel. Holy cow, how are you guys making it?
I don't know.
Geez, I got an electric bike and it's still kicking my ass.
What?
I said, how are you guys making it? This wind is strong.
I know.
I'm on an e-bike and it's still pounding me.
This wind is crazy.
It is crazy, man. Well, be safe. When you're living in a big city or a city that has a lot of different types of weather, well, you definitely want fenders that keep you from getting all yucky. Because I ride bikes all year round. And I'll ride them after a rain or something like that. And for the past 2 months, it's been raining like 3 to 4 days every week. It's been crazy. You know what? Let's see if we can hit top speed. 27, 28. And it's locking me out at 28. I might have hit 29, but you cannot hold it. But you could easily hold 28. We are definitely dealing with a more mild day today. It is overcast. The breeze does feel pretty good. Doesn't feel like it's any worse than what it was in the city, which is nice. But I have a feeling I'm also riding with the wind instead of into it. So probably here in a second, we're going to turn around because I want to do the first half riding into the wind. So that way, when we have low battery, we can ride with the wind and hopefully make it home. All right, I can tell we're riding with the wind, so we definitely need to turn around. But hey, check out the skyline behind me. This is my favorite view of every review. I like to show people what the skyline of downtown looks like. And here in a second, we're gonna turn around and you can see it from my point of view. Let me show you what these turn signals look like. I know I can't show you what the brake lights look like, but you know what? I can turn the headlight on and you can see how bright the tail lights are. Oh boy, we're about to enter some serious wind. Is there a storm coming through? This is like storm weather winds. And the clouds are getting awful dark. Oh no, I need to check the weather. Holy cow. I think I'm gonna get caught in a storm. We're gonna have to test out the IPX rating of this bike. Well, that kind of explains why there wasn't a ton of people out. When I checked the weather earlier this morning, it didn't say anything about storms coming through. But, I mean, things change. All right, guys, let me show you the walk feature on this bike. No matter what speed you're in, you hold down your minus button and it puts it into walk mode. And at that point, well, it'll just walk up the hill. We're doing 2.7 miles an hour, 2.9, 2.8. So you're doing right under 3 miles an hour, which is a nice, simple walking speed. I mean, I definitely don't want to be walking. I want to be riding. but I got to show you guys the walk feature. Yeah, I am definitely going to be caught in this storm, and we are definitely going to keep it in turbo the rest of the time. Let's do some cross country. I'm taking every shortcut now to get back to the house. Oh, are those sprinkles? Now, since your throttle stalls out at 20, if you're trying to go faster than that and you're holding down the throttle, you have to let go at about 18, 19 miles an hour. And when you do that, then you can go faster than the 20 miles an hour. But if you are cranking it out and you have your throttle held down and you're trying to go faster than 20, it's going to restrict you. You're not going to be able to do it. You know, I never know what's going to happen during these reviews. And I'm going to be a soggy mutt by the time I make it home. I am easily cruising at 24, 25 miles an hour. You know, when I checked the weather, it showed that it was going to rain tomorrow. So I was like, okay, today's the day to take the level 3 out, get this review done. Check the weather before I took off. Nothing about rain, just said a bunch of strong wind, which I am heading into right now. We are using a lot of throttle in this review, and that is not normally the case for a bike like this. I do have to tell you that I feel the gearing on this bike is excellent. At no point has there been any ghost pedaling or anything like that, but Aventon's known to have really nice torque sensors. Now, I reviewed the Adventure 3, and that is a fat tire bike. They had also changed the geometry like they did with this bike, and when they did that, they made it so that it rides incredibly nice. And that is the same thing here. Like, you can feel the quality in this bike. I mean, I felt it on the hill climb, I felt it in the sand, and I feel it right now. Oh no. Oh no. I did not make it. Let's find some shelter. Oh man. Ah. Yeesh. Oh.
No,
Didn't even, when I looked this morning, it didn't say anything about rain. All right, I'm taking the shot. 3.3 miles from the house. Keeping this bike in turbo. I doubt I see too many people on the 606 trail. And I am fighting straight into the wind. Of course I am. I guess we don't have to do a full range test on this bike because it tells you what your range is and how far you can go. Right now, with it still being in turbo, it shows that we have another 14 miles that we can go. This is where an e-bike comes in handy because you can use it to fight against the strong winds that we have here in Chicago or wherever you're from. Heck, I don't know, you might not even get strong winds. But it's great for the hill climbing. Oh my God. Okay, so I did not show you how the bike climbs in eco and sport using pedal assist only. But the wind was so strong, my drone was barely able to fly. And now I know why. So let me break it down for you, make it simple. You're gonna have a harder time climbing a hill in eco mode than you will in turbo. Simple dimple. It will take you more effort to get to 28 miles an hour in eco mode than it will in turbo. Looks like I'm gonna be heading right back into the rain. Time to get wet again, but I'm so close. Oh my gosh. Throttle, help me. Uh-oh. There it is. Holy cow. I am so close to being home though, but I'm gonna be drenched by the time I get there. Oh no. Well, that was an interesting ride, and it definitely caught me at the end. Now, it's been a couple of hours, so I'm dry now. The only dry part of me was where the camera was, and the clouds keep coming in and out, although I don't like the looks of the ones over there. But let's talk about the mileage of the bike. Now, if we take a look at how far the bike went, the display shows that we went 19.4 miles. And if you take a look at the app, well, the phone app showed that we did the same as well. I told you the phone app's really good at that. of keeping the track of your ride. And then also when you take a look at Strava showed that we also went 19 miles, but it was like 19.1. So we're like a half a mile off. Either way, you can use the display here on the bike to track your mileage. Now, when it comes to how far this bike could go, well, the great thing is it tells you about it in the display. We already went 19.8 miles, I guess. And then if you take a look in Eco, we could have gone another 22.8 miles. In Sport, another 16.5. And in Turbo, another 13.3. No matter which route that we would have taken, this bike would have done over 30 miles. Now, one of the things that I noticed about this bike is the fact that with this new geometry, it feels so good. It does. And everything is extremely tight on this bike. Everything about it just feels like it is made well and it is going to be around for a long time. Now, of course, I'm a huge fan of the security features here in Chicago, considering that I had some thieves that tried to steal 20 of my e-bikes, but it was features like this on a bike that prevented that from happening, and I was able to not lose any of my bikes and foil the attempted robbery. I want to talk about the suspension seat post right here. I want to show you something. Now, during this review, I didn't ride it long enough to where it didn't really feel chunky, but you can adjust these, and I don't know if you guys knew that you could do that, but it doesn't matter the type of suspension seat post. There is this hex nut down here, and if you screw it in, it'll make it tighter, and if you let it out towards the end here, it makes it looser. And because of that, well, you should be able to adjust your suspension seat post the way that you want it. When it comes to the Aventon products, I am 100% an Aventon fanboy, and I think that the Level 3 is a great upgrade to the Aventon Level 2. Now, you might be wondering, is there a cost to have the security features on this bike? Well, the ones that are in the display, from like locking the rear hub, removing the battery, and things like that, will not cost you any money. But if you're using the app and you want to be able to track where your bike is through the whole GPS and stuff like that, well, the first year it's going to be free, and then it's only 20 bucks per year after that. So being able to do the geofencing and, like basically disabling the bike no matter wherever it is, well, because of that, I think it's well worth the money. Now, if you're wondering, should you upgrade from the Level 2 to the Level 3? Well, they did change the geometry to make it ride better. And with these new security features from the Aventon control unit, I'm going to have to say yes. Now, if you are interested in the Aventon Level 3, well, I'm going to leave a link down in the description below, and that is going to take you exactly where you need to be. And I tell you what, even if you're not interested in the bike, if you can just click on that link, that'll let Aventon know that you value my videos. Now, if the Level 3 is not for you, well, YouTube knows what you like to watch. As a matter of fact, it's suggesting you should watch this video next, and that's where I'll be. But for this video, guys, I want to thank you for watching. And until I see you again, enjoy the ride.